You want to take crime off the street? Don't keep putting them back. And the other thing that's very important to all the communities in Toronto is community centers, places for the youth to go.
Disgusted and upset the way the city's going. You've had two mayors that have done nothing, from Ford to Tory.
Stop talking about what they can do about the environment. Start talking about what you can do to protect the environment. Thank you.
Listen, whether you believe in pollution or not, or the climate change, right? It's here. People are dying of respiratory diseases. They're non-smokers, but they're dying of...
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto, and we just witnessed an event called the People Debate, and I'm with Frank D'Angelo. Frank is one of the 102 candidates, if you can imagine. Number 32. Just one digit away from Curtis Joseph's jersey number, because I'm just saying that because I know you're a goalie, Frank. Well, first of all, why are you running for mayor? I mean, full disclosure, we've had dealings before when I was working for other media organizations. Now I know you're an entrepreneur, you're a goaltender, you're a musician. What's bringing you into politics, Frank?
I'm disgusted and upset the way the city's going. You've had two mayors that have done nothing, from Ford to Tory. The city's $1.6 billion deficit over the budget. It's got $700 million, maybe $800 million in uncollected fines that are a decade in default. And if we continue going this way, we're going to be a replica of some of the urban cities that are in the United States that have been let go. And this is our city. I was born and raised here. I love Toronto. It is, I've been very blessed, David. I've been able to travel all over the world. But for me, there's no feeling like it when the plane comes across Lake Ontario and I see the CN Tower. I just can't. I love Toronto, and at this stage of my life, I've been very blessed. I've been able to achieve many things. Many of my dreams have come true. My dream before I leave this planet, my last chapter, is to leave Toronto in great shape.
Well, Frank, I share your sentiment about Toronto. I was born here. I've lived most of my life here. But Toronto is getting harder and harder to love. I mean, I think back in 1987, Peter Ustinov called Toronto, New York is run by the Swiss. It's not that anymore. Garbage, graffiti, homeless encampments, so-called safe injection sites. And Frank, the thing is, if you believe the polls, Olivia Chow is the prohibitive frontrunner. I personally think she will grease the wheels for Toronto to become Portland North. What do you say?
First of all, I never disagree with you because you're a great journalist and you're a great writer, and you were instrumental in me doing my book about my life. So I have huge respect, but I disagree with you about the polls. The polls are bull. And if the polls were real, right, they're taking a sample, a tiny, teeny sample size of 1.7 million possible voters. And why are they only showing 6 of the poll? Why don't they show the whole 102 candidates where they are in the poll? I'm positive 38% undecided voters.
You want tolls on major arteries and bridges.
Yes.
You want to charge increased fees for parking permits. This seems to be, to me, an added punch when it comes to the war on the car. And aren't Torontonians so overtaxed, especially motors, as it is right now?
Okay. So I'm going to rebuttal you. And like I said, you bring out the best in me. The tolls are worldwide. You go to Rome, you go outside of Rome, you're going to pay a toll. In Florida, there's a toll. Somebody's got to pay for the roads. So every morning, you have thousands of people coming from Hamilton, Grimsby, Oakville, Orangeville, using our highways. Their municipal tax goes to the municipality. We, the Torontonians who are paying the big taxes, have to pay for those road repairs, for those potholes.
But Frank, motorists already, and 'twas ever thus, when you look at the tax component on a liter of gasoline, well over a third is taxes. Those taxes were supposed to go to the maintenance of roads. Exactly, they go into that nefarious pit called general revenues. So I would argue that motorists are already paying more than their fair share.
I agree with you. Okay. I agree with you. But we need tolls. People coming out of the city, right? That money's got to go directly back into the infrastructure of Toronto.
The environment is like in your house. If you don't keep it clean, and you don't take care of it, you're gonna start getting mice and cockroaches, and you're gonna get sick. And that's what we're doing to our planet. We're abusing it.
You said in your literature, quote, climate change is an undeniable reality that we must acknowledge and adapt to in our modern world, end quote. And you say that as mayor, you would introduce a green zone. That kind of sounds almost like a 15-minute city or something, Frank.
No, I believe that in highly congested area, highly trafficked area, you would get a break if you had an electric car. And listen, whether you believe in pollution or not, or the climate change, right? It's here. People are dying of respiratory diseases. They're non-smokers, but they're dying of lung cancer. They're dying of emphysema, right? I believe that an urban city, if it's not, has a conscience. Look what they've done to Toronto right now. You can't drive in Toronto. You can't go straight. You can't make a left. You can't make a right. You can't park the car.
But Frank, in the big picture, I mean, do you believe in man-made climate change, or do you think it is climate change that is beyond anything that we're doing?
It's man-made. You go in a house, you live in a brand new house, you and your beautiful family. After a couple of years, you've scratched the walls, you've broken a door, right? No, the mice didn't do it, you did it, right? So that's what we've done to our planet.
Fossil fuel is the tobacco industry of transportation. We need to start either taking public transit or getting into hybrids.
What would a green zone mean if you were the mayor?
A green zone would be Bay Street Avenue, University. You can only drive electric vehicles, whether it's a...
Wow, that would cause such hardship to so many people.
Why? It's here. The
electric vehicles, Frank, are so expensive.
Do you have a cell phone?
I do.
Do you remember the first cell phones, how much they cost? Do you remember how big they were? Yes. The electric cars are not that expensive. And Mr. Ford, because I talked to a minister, I'm not going to get it, they should need to put any car that's below $60,000, there should be a $10,000, $15,000 incentive from the provincial government. Any car over 70, you pay full price. So you got the money to spend 70 G's, you pay for it, right?
Even the Toronto Police Force, all of their vehicles should be hybrids. There should be no Toronto police with the budget that they have driving gasoline cars.
All the cops, why aren't the police cars all hybrids?
You have a point there.
We're spending billions on gas and maintenance. And why here, I got to tell you this and I'll get off. You know the police, they should not have any repair shops. They should only have the car after 4 years, they get rid of them. Because that way, they don't have to have these big garages with these high price maintenance. Because a car after 4 years, the way they abuse them with the mileage that they put on them are garbage. They're not worth fixing, the transmissions. So I would suggest, as mayor of Toronto, since the city pays the bill for the police, you only drive hybrids, you only keep them for 4 years. Then we make a deal with Ford or GM or Chrysler to take them back and replace them.
We live in a great country where there's law, but there's no justice. Stop. If you breach your bail, forget about it. No more bail for you. You're going to jail.
Last question, Frank. What with mail-in ballots in this election, what with advanced polls, when it comes to Election Day on Monday, June 26, are you going to cheetah? Are you going to cheetah, Frank?
I wish I could.
Do you cheetah?
Absolutely. I cheat all the time.
It's very hard to really get everything out. Go to frankformayor.ca and you'll see our platform. And we're not making promises from the lower part of our abdomen. We're making promises based on financial responsibility. And not all these mayors that are telling you they're going to do this and this, where are they going to get the money?
Folks, I know you count on Rebel News to bring you the other side of the story, and sure enough, that's why we were at the People debate to listen to candidates that are, well, quite frankly, shunned by the mainstream media and the establishment. Totally shameful, but you know what? We need your help. If you can go to rebelfieldreports.com, that's rebelfieldreports.com, and if you're able to kindly make a donation, that would be greatly appreciated.